Hello all, it's been some time, but alas I've returned after 3 weeks of being off, and firstly I'd like to say before anything else, sorry about the background noise that this sounds like a fan. It's my mic on my phone, it's a bit broken. There's a little fun fact about the Film Review Fridays, they're all done on my phone. But considering it's Friday and it's been 3 weeks since I did a review, and today is quite a special day actually, because it's Friday the 13th, I thought, well, it'd be best to do a horror movie. So that's what we're doing today. We're reviewing a horror movie. Now, this will go over 2 weeks periods because I'm going to do one of the parts today and then the other part or the second part of it next week. But today I thought, considering last week I went to see It Chapter 2 and I didn't do a review last week, this week I'm going to do It Chapter 1. And then next week I'm going to do It Chapter 2. So I'm going to review both It films this week. So we're starting with It Chapter 1. So It Chapter 1 falls under the genre of horror. However, anybody who watches that film most likely will agree that the movie just isn't scary. Compared to other horror movies I've done on this channel, like for example A Quiet Place or Hereditary, which I would agree are scary films. It just doesn't fall under horror for me. It's just like it relies too heavy on jump scares, and that to me is its biggest downfall. The fact that when you go to see it, you're expecting this horror movie of this clown that terrifies this bunch of kids, and it just doesn't happen. However, that being said, the starring point of that movie, hands down, goes to those kids, because the kids in this movie are just unbelievable. They are unbelievable actors. Each character you can believe is like really, really terrified of this clown which is hunting them down, and while you might not be, these kids are pulling off their best act possible. So, hands down, that is the best starring point. The comedy is also a nice factor in this movie, in It Chapter 1, which, for some strange reason, it also continues into the sequel, and we'll discuss more about that next week, but for now we're talking about It Chapter 1. But yeah, the comedy aspect of it is quite surprising, and it's quite a nice factor, actually, the fact that the movie is quite funny. And I think, above all else, what it lacks in is horror. It does have moments here or there. For example, the library scene with the librarian. I will never ever forget that moment, because it's the background stuff you see, not the stuff that's going on in front of you. It's the background stuff, and to me, that is the most terrifying bit about the movie. The fact that the librarian, she doesn't even jump out at you. It's just like she stands there and she smiles at Ben in the library while he's reading the book, and it's just like, it's such a good movie. And then you've got like the Easter eggs in that movie as well, which link back to like Stephen King's wider universe. For example, Eddie in one scene wears a Killer Car t-shirt, which is a reference to one of King's other works, Christine. And then what else you got? Oh yeah, you got there's constant references to the turtles. For example, there's the Lego turtle which Bill holds when he sees Georgie for the first time in like a year or two, and then there's also a reference of a turtle when they're down in the quarry, and it's just, to be honest, it's quite good, I think, in general. And then you've got all the references to the original miniseries It, with the Pennywise clown doll in the clown room where Richie goes. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty decent movie. Unfortunately, like I say, it falls flat on the one thing it promises to be, which is a horror movie. But then again, it's it. You're not exactly looking for like horror level 100, because this is the same horror movie that grossed over, I think it was $1 billion. It was the first horror movie to do that above any other one. No horror movie had done that. I think it was the highest rated horror movie of 2017. So, yeah, you can really see why people just flock to the sequel, which we will discuss about next week. But overall, for It Chapter 1, I would give it a 7 out of 10, because, like I say, it's disappointing when you're going to watch this and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be a horror movie, it's going to be terrifying, and unfortunately, the one thing it lacks in is horror. But that being said, it has some really, really great factors about it, and you can see why a lot of people went to see it, even though I think some people who were going to see it were expecting horror and they were just a bit let down. But then again, it's Hollywood. They do this all the while. But anyway, so yeah, this is going to conclude Film Review Friday for this week. Next week I will bring the sequel of It Chapter 2. But until then, this has been Connor on Film Review Friday the 13th. I will see you all when I see you. Goodbye.